Let's talk some sports, baby.
Taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by Jones.
And remember, make tomorrow better than today and make today better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and keep it going with the NFC drafts. This division saw Detroit take Jeff Okudah third overall, ending down those trade rumors. So, what'd you think, Drink?
Yeah, I gave the Lions A minus. I thought they drafted about as well, pretty good. I don't think it's going to make an impact for them in the season, but I thought the draft went pretty well for them. And, first they took Jeff Okudah, the cornerback out of Ohio State, third overall. Listen, this cat didn't get one defensive pass interference or holding penalty the whole year last year. That is phenomenal. Matter of fact, when he said that, I had to go do some research because I thought that was downright impossible. But he was telling the truth. He did not get penalized on either one of those calls all year. So that alone gets you in the top five. He's going to be an instant impact. We know that they had to replace Darius Slay, so very, very, very good pick with that. And then they took DeAndre Swift with the second pick, the running back out of Georgia with the 35th pick. A bit of surprise, but when I think about Kerryon Johnson, listen, that guy cannot withstand a season worth being a number one. Like, if he gets more than 20 carries a game, you best believe you're going to miss him for the next 3. So if that's the case, there's nothing wrong with getting you another back there that can help him carry the load, and hopefully he can make it through the whole season. So, and I know Matt Stafford wondering, what the hell, man? Can I get one running back throughout my tenure here? So I did like the depth of the running back position with DeAndre Swift, and then Julia Owara, the defense end out of Notre Dame with the 67 pick. I do think they can use him on that defensive line. He needs some fine tuning to bend them corners a lot better, but I do think he'll make a positive impact, I should say, with that Lions defensive line. So yeah, I gave the Lions an A minus.
Yeah, I'm a little bit skeptical on this one. I don't think it was terrible, but I don't think it was all that great. I got him as a C+. It's similar to what I said about the Bengals and Redskins. I don't think it was a whole lot of secrecy that the Lions were going to take Jeff Okudah. So I'm not going to give you all that high marks for that. And then the DeAndre Swift pick, to me, it was a bit curious. I like Kerryon Johnson. I like both. The Dolphins were also talking about an offensive tackle at 3, and so But listen, I like Kerryon Johnson. I also like Bo Scarborough. So I think they were pretty good, pretty well served at running back. Even though the durability point on Kerryon, I think it's valid. I'm also not all that high on Julian Okwara, but I guess we'll see. I like that they did address the guard position in the 3rd and 4th rounds with Jonah Jackson and Logan Stenberg. I thought that was well done. I think Quintus Cephas in the 5th round, I think that's a guy worth watching. I think he could be a bit of a steal in that round. Overall, C+, it's average. Not bad, not that great for me.
Yeah, I was a little bit more, I guess, with Drink on this one. My grade was an A minus also. I think, like, the thing with Okudah is we talked about the trades, we talked about the quarterback, and I thought they might do something crazy. They didn't, obviously. But a lot of people were saying, they should have traded down. But I don't think the trade market was all that warm. I thought the people later on knew they could get their guy, or they could get him, like with Miami and the Chargers. So it's doubtful they could have gotten a big haul. So instead of just selling off what they could get, they just took a near can't miss guy. They replaced Darius Slay. It fills a big need. It's a nice, safe pick. Yeah, Swift, I agree with a little bit. I just, it's not the biggest need. And running back in the 2nd round, you better have a good reason you're taking him even that high at the top of the 2nd round, brother. And wasn't crazy about it. Okwara is a guy that I think he's got a good nose for the quarterback. He's a nice pick. Again, nothing crazy, just nice, solid pick. Big fellas in the offensive line. I like that in the middle of the draft. And then Cephas, like you said, Jay, a couple of games I watched in Wisconsin, that dude was catching everything. So he might be a really solid player, a really good possession wide receiver, if nothing else. Stafford can use to move the chain. So, I didn't mind the day 3 picks. They were all solid. Overall, I kind of liked it. A lot of big guys, can't knock it. A minus.
If you catch passes in Wisconsin, you got a chance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So, Jay, he did. All right, Jay, we have the Bears up next. What do you think about them?
I don't know. I don't know what this is. I really don't. Ryan Pace got me scratching my head year after year They had what they had like 10 tight ends on their roster, and now they got another one with Cole Kmet. So
they had 9 before they drafted Cole. So
okay,
Yeah, he was
only
10.
9.
He was number
Only
10,
9.
yeah.
Oh, excuse me. They just paid Jimmy Graham a nice contract to go out there and catch, I don't know, 30, 35 passes. Now they got Cole Kmet to go with the other 8 tight ends it is. So I don't know what they're doing with that. I like the Jalen Johnson pick. I told y'all about Kyle and Eddie Jackson outside of those guys. I think they needed some help in that secondary, so they got it. But after that, they had, some 5th round picks and 7th round picks. I mean, I'm pretty much just looking at the 2nd round picks, and I'm split on them. One good one that's just, I don't know what it is. C-.
So when we started this, I had the Bears at a B, and then I thought, what in the hell are you gonna do with 10 tight ends? So I had to move down to a B minus. That ain't gonna cut it. So moving on to that second pick, Jalen Johnson, the cornerback out of Utah with the 50th pick. Listen, shut down corner. He's gonna be a day one starter. He's really, really good with the deep ball. He can locate the ball well. He's gonna be definitely an upgrade. Jay told you why when you add him with the other 2 studs back there. And then they third pick, Travis Gibson, defensive end out of Tulane, took him with the 155th pick, a very disruptive defensive end. Will crack the rotation day one. Wouldn't necessarily call him a starter, but I do think as the year go, you'll see more and more of him. So I end up giving the Bears a young B minus for this crap at tight end.
Yeah, I'd agree. This draft felt really meh for me. Like I said, that 10 tight end stat that came across on draft night, I thought they were joking. I thought someone was making it up, and I was like, oh my god, no, they really have 10 tight ends. Holy crap! I don't get what on earth would make you think, oh, we'll get another one. So I'm gonna say we're reaching for that in round 2 with 9 on the roster. Maybe not the best use of your resources. Jalen Johnson, like y'all said, is nice. That was a good bounce back though. That kind of saved this draft a little bit and salvaged it from being horrible. He's got great instincts. He's gonna be really good. The tackle, the tackle help came late, but I can't help but think like one of those second rounders probably should have been something to better help your offense in a way you actually needed. More linemen for Foles, how fragile he can be, another wide receiver maybe, just something. That offense was so anemic, and just another dude at tight end. Is that really what we got? I get your ammo was limited. You had to be careful with it, but it feels like you just squandered your highest pick, and then you just kind of took whatever was hanging out when you got there. So yeah, I got a C on this one. That's probably being generous. All right, Drake, the Vikings are up next. What you think of them?
Hey, it's no secret how we felt about how the Vikings drafted. I gave them an A. I thought they did very well. Listen, you got Stephon Diggs. As soon as he heard Kirk Cousins was going to get paid, he chucked the deuces. I'm out of here. You sent him to Buffalo. And in return, what you got for him, you got Justin Jefferson. Hey, I thought Justin Jefferson was one of the 4 top wide receivers in this draft. So in my book, you got the Stephon Diggs replacement, leg for leg, arm for arm. Day one starter. Hopefully he can come around and help Thielen, Rudolph, Cook, Cousins, and company keep that offense rolling for the future. But I love that pick. And then second, you took Jeff Glantley, the cornerback out of TCU with the 31st pick. A corner that a lot of people had, the Vikings drafting. I guess a lot of people seen him sliding down that far. I didn't. I thought he was going to be off the board a little earlier, but, the cornerback position was a little earthy in that first round and on into the second one. Also a day one starter. And then with your third pick, you took Ezekiel Cleveland, the offensive tackle out of Boise State with the 58th pick. A really, really solid pick. Another guy that was mentioned early in the draft. You got him on day 2. He will be a day one starter. So listen, and I don't go through all 7 picks or all 14 picks for the Vikings, but I just want to say this. They did a hell of a job. And I think this might be majority of the reason why the Packers so mad right now, because they seen the job that Minnesota did. So hell of a job. I gave my A.
You mean the Packers fans, right? Because I'm pretty sure the Packers in the organization think they did good. But anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. The Vikings, they did a whale of a job here. I thought in their first 4 picks, they addressed all the needs I had for them. Wide receiver, offensive line, and corner. You got Justin Jefferson. I think after Ruggs, Judy, and CeeDee Lamb, he was our 4th best receiver. They got him as a kind of a steal because Jalen Reagor went right before Justin Jefferson. And Mike Zimmer, he's starting to rebuild that secondary with Jeff Gladney and Cameron Dantzler. And we know he can coach defense. And Ezra Cleveland, they're a little iffy on that offensive line. I think he's going to help them in that. And some late round value in the fourth rounds or mid rounds, James Lynch and Troy Dye, those guys, keep an eye on. They could be factors on that defense as well.
Yeah, I definitely thought this was one of the better drafts. I mean, they had an ass amount in the picks, but I thought they used them very smart. Where I thought the Dolphins kind of wasted a couple of them. I thought they were all pretty smart with their picks here with Minnesota. Jefferson fits in well with that Vikings offense a lot, and it's kind of what they need. I'm not as over the moon about him as some people are, but he'll be productive from day one. I have no doubt about that. Gladney and Dantzler at cornerback. I like how they doubled down to the cornerback spot. They said, hey, we need one, we need two, we'll take two of them. We'll take what we need. And those are two guys I definitely had on day two going. And that improves that backfield, who did lose a lot of guys in the offseason. And Dantzler should have probably been gone by 89. Cleveland, I saw him mocked up a lot higher in a lot of drafts. So, again, good value there. And like you said, Jay, Troy Dye just stand out in some of those day three picks, but some youth at older linebacking core. It could be a really solid contributor. So I don't have much to complain about. I think it's an A draft.
Yeah, I don't think I said this, but this is an A draft. I just want to make sure I said that.
And, you got the Packers. You have any thoughts on the Packers?
Yes. This is an F. And it's an F for only the first two picks. There is no reason to even evaluate this draft after the first two picks. You traded up for Jordan Love, that whatever. And then to make it even more mystifying, you go get A.J. Dillon. Nothing against this guy. I was telling you, I thought Buffalo should have went with A.J. Dillon. But you reached for A.J. Dillon. I thought he's more third and fourth round guy. When you got Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones scored 16 touchdowns last year. Not only should Aaron Rodgers be furious, these running backs should be in the GM's office saying, am I not doing something right? Did I not score enough touchdowns last season? So, and oh, by the way, I haven't said this yet, but the GM, when you talk about, hey, in the second round, there was some wide receivers I wanted, but I couldn't trade up to get them. You know why? Because you traded up in the first round for a quarterback you didn't need. F.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to let that smoke clear. We out there. We let that clear. Listen, hey, I'm just going to copy and paste what Jay said for the first two picks, and I'm just going to roll into that third one. Josiah DeGuara, the tight end out of Cincinnati with the 94th pick, looking to be the second tight end behind Sternberger now that you'd sent Jimmy Graham packing. And he could possibly be a starter if he progressed fast enough. And he's definitely a project to be a possible starter day one. But I don't know. We'll see. But listen, the backtrack a little bit. I'm not as passionately upset as Jay is, but I do agree with his sentiments. That's unacceptable, especially if the GM actually said I didn't have the pick to trade back up. Are you motherfucking kidding me? I mean, I'm sorry. Are you kidding me though? I can't believe that. Why? What do you mean? You drafted a quarterback that you didn't need. That's unacceptable to say you didn't have what you needed to draft. But I'm not as upset. So yeah, I gave them a whopping C-.
Yep.
This one we've dug through a lot, kind of like we talked about on Wednesday. The thing with Jordan Love is even if he's a bona fide starter, it's still a questionable move because either A, you're eating huge, massive dead salary cap on Rodgers like we've probably never seen before in this league. You're talking $50-60 million to get the value out of Love, or you're going to waste most of Jordan Love's cheap years with him on the bench, and then what? You go in your fourth round, and maybe you pick up his fifth-year option, and then you get 2 years of cheap quarterback play. That's not why you draft a quarterback in the first round. Part of the reason for doing that is to have that cheap contract. So you're squandering the most value Love's going to have. And we haven't even addressed the fact that Jordan Love really isn't probably an NFL quality starter. And a lot of people were not very high on this kid for a reason. So yeah, it could be good, but you can't even sell me on, this was some home run, kid that we couldn't pass on. Yeah, you could have passed. You could have even waited for him to follow you at 30 or 30, 29, and it wouldn't have mattered. So, and A.J. Dillon, I like him as a player. He mauled FSU for years. I watched the dude play a lot of football, but 62? He wasn't even on the top 200 in most big boards. So, fourth, fifth round, hey, and if I could see you taking a flyer on a guy like, say, Cam Akers, went higher than I thought. But I could see why a team would look at him and go, okay, yeah, I see why we want to get him in the second. Dillon's like a high floor, low ceiling kind of running back. Like he's going to be just what he is. So I don't know why you would reach so high for him. It just doesn't make any sense. And man, I combed the rest of these picks. I was trying to find something because I knew Jay was going to bring the smoke. I thought, well, maybe there's something I can salvage in here. And there's not. Some project offensive linemen. They all look like depth pieces at best. Tight end, it looks like he'll probably play special teams, but number 2 tight end in the 3rd round, what? This is a mess. This is even outside the Love debacle. The rest of this draft's a complete whiff. I'm giving it a D-, and the only reason I can give it a D- is Jordan Love might be good, and if he is good, maybe you get something out of this draft. But man, I gotta think that Green Bay just broke this hard.
Don't worry about it, Gutekunst. Hey, your boys down here, at least they let you pass. I ain't letting it slide. Y'all need to go down here and take some draft remediation.